Hello, this is Dominic from the Jack and Dom Radio Show, a weekly sports radio program, and although we broadcast on professional hardware, we do record our show mostly on my laptop, and sometimes I don't press record right when we start. Some shows will start right in the middle of a topic. Regardless, this show is a work of love and passion for sports with raw and transparent opinions between the two of us. So I hope you all enjoy.
But you're not fired. We're looking for your replacement. Like that would be disrespectful. So they have to wait to look for somebody until after he's gone. It's just a matter of is going 0-22. They're finally going to be like, okay, it's time. Because patience is a virtue. Don't get me wrong. Rome wasn't built in a day. But
no, it wasn't. But it could be torn down in a day.
0-22 is crazy. Like Robert Saleh from the Jets got fired for infinitely less. And look where it's gotten the Jets. So,
the Jets aren't any better.
They're way worse.
Yeah,
because
Aaron Rodgers is.
I'm saying
is washed.
Yeah,
sorry, Dad.
But they're way worse because they rushed it. We didn't rush it, right? We could have fired the coach after 0-11. We could have fired him this week, right? We didn't. We gave him some time, right? And it's just not working out. So now, no time like the present to make a change.
Yeah. I would, and then if I had an opportunity for like a polite off the record conversation with the AD, I would have told them, earlier in the year, hey, it's the student's opinion, general opinion that you should find someone new for the football team. Now I'm like, can you please find someone new for the football team? Because and I brought this up week after week after week. I know many people on the football team, and let's just say the locker room vibe is not where you want it to be at all. And compare that to the basketball team, who I'm a part of being a team manager. It's tight. These guys are willing to go to battle with each other. But yeah, it's worlds apart. As I always say, week after week after week. And now, don't get me wrong, Northern Michigan's not known to being a football school, at least since the mid-'70s, late 80s.
But it wasn't a basketball school since the 70s either, and they turned it around fast.
Yes, yeah.
It's doable.
It's doable, and
there's no excuse for mediocrity, and there's no excuse for bottom of the barrel either.
Yeah, especially against Division III schools.
Right, we are probably the worst team in D2 right now. I don't care what the metrics say. And that's unacceptable.
It is. And those are the words of many higher up people, including the school president, who I had a on the record conversation with just a few weeks ago. Yeah, he even though he's a track and field guy, he does follow football, and even his words, it's unacceptable.
No, it's not okay. And Northern students, Northern alums, Northern faculty deserve
And I kind of feel for the players a little bit in the sense that, like, they're trying their best out there. They're not being put in good spots.
Well, absolutely. And I think part of the problem is their inability to recruit, but I think there are a lot of playmakers on that team that give it their all every Saturday. And they don't see the result because we're running a triple option offense from the early 1800s. Like,
I won't go that far.
Yeah,
better than the 60s.
60s, no, like the 20s. The fielding
the 2030s, yeah.
No, not the 2030s, the 1920s.
And that's what I'm saying. Sorry,
the fielding Yost offense, except for it's the fielding Yost offense that doesn't work 100.
Was it the original John Heisman? No, he did a lot of passing.
No, not John Heisman. It's a fielding Yost type offense. Okay. It doesn't work at all.
Doesn't work today, yeah.
It really hasn't worked at all. We haven't put up points against any of our opponents.
The most points we've ever put up was 27 against Alma.
Which is crazy.
A mid, not a good, but just a mid D3 school.
Even if they were good D3 school, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But on to brighter topics. Man. The volleyball team this past week beat Findlay 3-2, Indy 3-1, and lost to Rockhurst 3-1. Yep. Great fight from them.
It was at the Midwest crossover volleyball event in Hamlin, Illinois.
And they continue to be one of the better, I think, volleyball teams in the GLIAC.
Do you know who they face next?
Ooh.
The infamous team that we apparently have a hard time beating, Grand Valley.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Oh, yes, it is.
Especially when you look at...
and it's at Grand Valley.
Right, especially when you look at GLIAC play, though. I'm not 100% sure. I know the GLIAC conference, does it differ at all by sport, or is it the same across the board?
Like, I know some schools don't have certain sports. Like, I know Grand Valley doesn't have a men's soccer team, or at least the men's varsity soccer team. And there are some schools and some sports that are in the GLIAC, but not in others.
So are Parkside and Purdue Northwest part of the GLIAC for...
I believe so.
Okay, so just running under the assumption that they are. We're 7-1 in the conference, by the way. Our sole loss being to number 7 Ferris State.
Ooh.
So that's pretty
They're
good.
undefeated right now,
right.
by the way.
And you've got at GVSU, at Wayne State, at Michigan Tech coming up, so a tough run. But there's a very good chance this team could make some noise in the GLIAC tournament, I think.
Yeah.
The teams they've lost to have been some of the better teams in the entirety of D2 volleyball. 14 Minnesota Duluth. They beat at the time number 7 St. Cloud State. Lost a tough one against Minnesota State, right? Like they are an elite team, right? They've made some noise in previous years, and I look forward to seeing them continue to be one of the more successful major athletic teams at this university.
There's 2 more home games, November 1st and November 2nd. I wish there was kind of like what there was last year, a home game right before Halloween, because I like to wear my costume to some sporting events. And for all those who are listening, the first game against Alaska Anchorage, I was there for the first game, not the second game, but the first game where we won 2-1. And I was wearing my computer monitor costume. So I have an old iMac helmet that I put on my head. A lot of people actually liked it. I've not ever received like one negative comment about my costume, probably because a lot of people know it's custom. Like it's custom and you can't just buy that in a store.
Right, exactly.
Although the little kids asked me, "Are you Skibbity Toilet?" And I'm like,
no. Never say that word on air again. Ever. We're just gonna move on.
No, I told them no, and I told them don't watch that stuff.
But anyway, let's move on because I don't want to hear those words come out of your mouth ever again, and I'm sure our listeners can agree that those words never come out of the mouth of anybody.
Oh man,
especially not a early end Gen Z or a late end.
I'm a late end millennial.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've seen all the episodes on YouTube. Given it is a little, at least personally, a little fascinating to see every episode where it just, for the opposing sides who keep battling each other, the increasing sophistication of warfare.
Anyway.
Unlike our football team.
So, hockey.
Yes.
1-3 to start the season.
Yeah.
Played against a very good Colorado College team. Looked great in the first game. Got crushed in the second game.
Ouch.
But I was impressed by their play in the first game for sure. And then a similar trend emerged against Alaska Anchorage, their home opener series.
Yep.
I was at, Saturday.
Wearing my costume.
I was also there. Thank you to NMU Housing for letting Hunt Hall government use the suite. Hot take though, the student section is better.
Okay.
Although the cookies in the suite cannot be beat. I'm telling you, they are the bomb.
I've had the cookies.
They're so good.
Oh, are they different than the ones you get at the Northern Center?
They're the sugar cookies with the green paw on top, and they're delicious.
I don't think I've had
they're
those.
Different. They're from the you get those big cookies, like those huge cookies, like from that place next to Starbucks or wherever it is. I don't know if it's next to Starbucks, but you get those huge cookies.
I can kind of
they
picture
call
it
it
in my
NMU Bakery. I'm pretty sure it's from there.
Okay.
But don't quote me on it. But anyway.
Because I've had some of the cookies from the Northern Center for events.
No, those are
the double chocolate chip ones are good.
No, those are delicious, but this is a separate thing. But anyway.
Okay. All right, well,
off the cookies, it's just a unique experience because
I'll have to sneak into one of the booths one day. Joking, I'm joking.
Join a whole government just because you're off campus. You can't. But
I don't live off campus.
I thought you did.
I live in Woodland Park.
Oh, well, okay, that's
campus
practically
apartments.
off campus.
We have what we call ourselves the round table. Our hall of government's halt.
That's funny, but
like the medieval knights.
Yeah. No, it was just It was a fun experience, though. I got to be above the goal, which was great because you could see the shots going in and
above the goal. Okay.
Of the opposite side goal, kind of, but off to the right side.
Were you on the opposite end of the student section?
Kind of. Do you know where the president's box is?
Yes.
It's like 3 suites down from the president's box.
Okay.
So I saw
and you saw me, and I sent you a picture of myself saying, "Hey, look for this guy." With me with the costume on, and you didn't make one and one together. I had many friends come to me just today and yesterday saying, was that you in that costume? I'm like, yeah. So the cameraman really, the cameraman that was nearby definitely wanted to get some shots of me. And the first shot that he took was when I had my large pop of Pepsi with no ice.
Yep.
Because I always get with no ice. And I had 2 straws attached to each other. And I could like, there's like a flap in the front of my helmet that I could stick the straw into and still drink Pepsi with my helmet on. And a lot of people thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty goofy, but yeah. It was an okay. Sorry, I'm just.
I know. I'm just. It's trying to burn time. It
was an okay performance against Anchorage, but I think what's happening is teams are getting kind of the Shayak brand of NMU hockey in game 1. Then in game 2 they adjust, and I think NMU with their new players and their new scheme and all those freshmen is less equipped, I think, to adjust to the way the opposition is playing, because the opposition is playing differently to counter NMU.
Yeah.
That it just creates some matchup issues. But I think, Coach Shayak said at the beginning of the year that it was going to be a rebuilding year, and I think that's fair because we lost pretty much everybody.
Yeah. It's a whole new team.
Well, the fact that our current captain was redshirted last year and didn't even play tells you all you need to know.
Okay.
But by the way, he's a really good player, and he's probably our best player. But I just want to put out there that he was redshirted one of the last couple seasons. I think it was last season, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, it's a different situation in the football team where since it's year 1, and since there's prior success, since there's semi-recent success, like I think.
We have a win this year. Well, it's not going to be the only one.
Yes, but the year or 2 before I got here, I think, was when NMU went to the finals of the GLIAC tournament in hockey. Okay. Sorry, CCHA tournament in hockey.
See, yeah, I know.
I believe it was the year before I got here. I think like Alex Fry and some of those guys were still on the team.
I recognize those names.
But anyway, so they had sort of a track record. Obviously not a great one. We were kind of mid under Grant. But there was some success there. And so it's different when you are building a football team, and there's just not much of a foundation, and you come in and you destroy what's left of the foundation and, like, tear up the ground.
Yeah, you gotta rebuild.
Not even rebuild. Instead of rebuilding that program, we have literally burned it to the ground.
Oh.
Versus in hockey, right, we are building...
Oh, the football team.
Yeah.
I was thinking about...
No, my metaphor here is... Ground is on fire, foundation is broken in football. They didn't build on the foundation, they tore it up.
Oh.
And in hockey, they're trying to build a new foundation. We just don't know what the foundation looks like yet.
Do you know what, after the Roosevelt game, do you know what they did afterwards?
What they do?
They took the big container of Gatorade and dumped it on their coach.
Roosevelt?
Roosevelt.
As they should. It's their first D2 win ever.
Yeah, but considering...
Well, not first D2 win ever, but first win
it actually
as a program in D2.
In D2, in Division 2. The problem is, not them doing that, although, I don't know, but it's a new turf, right? But there's no drainage systems underneath. And so there had to be a cleaning crew to, like, immediately come out and, like, vacuum up the area
Well, they should have thought that far ahead because it's going to be an awfully big Gatorade shower if we ever get another win. But anyway, moving on
Lord
to
have
a
mercy.
more exciting subject.
Yes.
This past weekend, Michigan basketball played a dominant exhibition game against Oakland University. I was very impressed. I didn't get to watch the game because it was, I believe, on some streaming. But they looked great. 92-48. I get it. Oakland's not the world's best team.
No, they had some good players last year.
They're a solid team. Michigan shot over 50% from three and over 70% from the floor, both of which are very good numbers.
Okay.
They got some big-time transfers in there. They got FAU star player Vlad Golden. They got Roddy Gale Jr., who was one of Ohio State's top scorers.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other guys from both Michigan's team last year and just the transfer portal, which is interesting because I think our football team and to some degree Michigan State's are suffering because of their inability to use the portal. So it's interesting how Michigan basketball is using the portal to really strengthen the team.
For basketball.
Yes, for basketball.
Okay,
I am saying
I know that for football I'm
saying for Michigan and Michigan State in football. Not adequately use the portal.
Okay, yeah.
That could change under Jonathan Smith and under Sharon Moore in year two. But D'Antonio and Harbaugh were both notoriously bad at not using the portal.
Well,
I know it was different.
Yeah, when D'Antonio was coaching, you had the 1 year. You had to take 1 year off of eligibility.
Yes, but I meant Mel Tucker because really the only impact transfer, in my opinion, that Mel Tucker got was Kenneth Walker, who saved his job. 3 times over. But other than that,
great
both
player in the
Michigan
NFL,
State,
Seahawks.
Right, but both of Michigan and Michigan State were not, and in my opinion, at least for now, are still not great hitting the portal. Versus Michigan basketball essentially rebuilt their team in a year out of the portal. Given that performance, even with a Big Ten that strong from top to bottom, has no clear front runner and no real dominant team, right? Because Purdue's Zach Edey is gone. Indiana's not the same.
The guy was a monster.
Dare I say Rutgers is one of the favorites to win the Big Ten with their two blue chip recruits. Izzo's Michigan State is always up there. Iowa tends to be pretty good. Ohio State had a good year last year. The Big Ten is wide open.
Yep.
Am I insane for saying, based on Michigan's current roster, which I highly recommend, I as a Michigan fan know a lot about it, but if I were you, I'd look it up real quick right now. But you've got your starting lineup is going to be, theoretically, Danny Wolf, a 7-footer who's a forward. So you get a 7-foot forward.
What team is this and what
Michigan
sport?
Basketball. Just the roster.
Okay.
So if you look at their players and kind of how they're going to fit in, you've got a 7-foot forward in Danny Wolf who can play the power forward, but he's sized like a center and he can shoot.
Yeah.
So you've got a forward that can block and play defense like a center, can dribble to the rim and score.
Are you talking about Golden or Wolf?
Wolf. We'll get to
Okay, because there's a guy named Golden. He's from Russia.
Yes, but Wolf, right, 7 foot 250, can be a rim defender, and not only can he shoot at the rim, he can shoot a 3-ball too. So you get a big man threat that can shoot a 3. LJ Kassan's a freshman, and he's a highly touted recruit, but he's a freshman, so he'll get not as much playing time. Guards are probably going to be Trey Donaldson, from Auburn, I believe. And it said FSU. I thought it was Auburn, but it might be FSU. And Roddy Gale Jr., who is the former Ohio State guard. Roddy Gale Jr. is lethal from 3-point range. And whoever they start out of, Nimari Burnett and Trey Donaldson, I think it's going to be Trey Donaldson, brings not only another 3-point threat, but it brings you size, right? 6'3" and 6'5" at the guard position. And it brings you experience, right? These are juniors, these are seniors, these are grad transfers that you've hit out of the portal.
Is Justin Pippen related to...
Yes.
Oh, he is.
Yes. Justin Pippen is one of Scottie Pippen's kids. Yes.
How many kids does he have?
Several. But he's a true freshman, so he will see some role on the team, but I don't think it'll be a major role.
Okay.
You've got guys like Will... Setter, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm so sorry, that's been with the program for a while, that's now a senior, that is a threat off the bench. Vlad Golden, in my opinion, is going to be the best center in the Big Ten by a lot.
Will? You're talking about Will?
Yeah. So Vlad Golan is going to be great. Sam Walters from Alabama, that Final Four team coming off the bench. Reuben Jones, the grad transfer, I believe, from North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got lots of guys with experience that can contribute, and you've got 3 freshman guards as well that can really make a difference. And then you've got, of course, Jace Howard back from last year's team. In my opinion, this is going to sound crazy, but I think given that we got one of the best coaches that was available in college basketball, you can argue with that. But taking FAU to a Final Four is insane because FAU is historically one of the worst programs in all sports, has really no NIL collective, is not good. This was unprecedented for them, and it's very rare. There's Lynn Savity runs like Loyola Chicago. And yes, March Madness is March Madness for a reason.
That's what it's called.
But I think it's rarer than you think for programs of that size to go all the way to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gotten a bunch of transfers that are going to come in there and make an instant impact. In a Big Ten that does not have a clear front runner, is it insane of me to think that Michigan could potentially win the Big Ten tournament? Given that they did that a lot under Beeline.
I'm gonna wait a few games.
Well, we're gonna wait a few games, but I'm just saying,
for me to make a determination.
Is it crazy for me to think that is a possibility, a realistic possibility?
Probably.
You think I'm out of my mind for even thinking that it's a realistic possibility?
No.
So you think it is a realistic possibility?
That's what I said. Yeah,
okay.
It's a realistic possibility. Okay. Is it a guarantee?
No, I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just saying, am I crazy?
Possible.
Am I crazy for saying they should be one of the front runners?
I mean, you're crazy for being a Michigan fan, that comes by default.
Shots fired.
Comes in by default. Okay, but let's take that out. Okay, yeah, I know you're not crazy for thinking that. you know I was gonna.
I don't.
I was gonna swoop on in there. I had an opportunity. I'm gonna take it. That's just how my humor works.
No, I get it, but I think it's a realistic possibility. I think State's gonna be an okay team this year, but I genuinely think State is the better coach team because Izzo's an all-time great.
Yeah.
And we're not going to deny that. I love Tom Izzo.
I met him.
Right. One of the very few things I like about Michigan State is their ice cream place was great. The one
the MSU Dairy Store.
MSU Dairy Store is phenomenal.
Yes,
Tom Izzo's great, and the campus is pretty.
Well, it's because we're an agricultural school.
Right, but that's
we're going to have cows in buildings. That's
the 3 nice things I can say about Michigan State. I highly doubt you can say 3 nice things about the Wolverines.
Their big house is pretty big. The campus is pretty beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, and what's the cube? What's that cube thing? The thing that the cube that's that moves or something.
Yes,
I love that. Okay, so I was able to actually.
I'm surprised you were capable of saying 3 nice things.
I actually one time visited the campus just to look around, and and I found it and was able to move it. I thought I was gonna get Thanos snapped out of existence. Because I'm a Michigan State fan, I would just turn into dust and just fly away if I touched it. But that did not happen. It did not happen. I'm still here today.
There's a lot of Michigan State fans that can't admit that there's some good things about the Wolverines, while I freely admit there's some good things about MSU. Now, Ohio State, on the other hand, I can't say nice things about them. But
okay,
regardless,
we're not rivals, so I just don't put the D for it.
Regardless, though,
hold that next thought.
Michigan State basketball will be good. That's my bottom line.
Well, for anyone who is just joining us here today, this is the Jack and Dom Radio Show here on WUPX 91.5 FM H2 in Marquette. Just talking about some college football, as well as we said our 3 nice things about the other team's university.
Which is not easy to do.
It's not easy to do. It's like saying 3 nice things about Trump. Kind of hard.
We do not endorse a political candidate.
No, not on the show. We're not a political
radio
talk
show. But I think Dom's views are very clear.
Yeah.
I won't share mine on live air, but if you know me well, you'll know what mine are. Regardless, speaking of what I would consider politics, you've got the jostling between the Republicans and the Democrats, and you've got the jostling between Michigan and Michigan State fans because
next week
it's rivalry week.
Yes.
And We all know who's going to win.
I don't know. I
will be shocked if we win. I will not even be watching the game.
You're not going to be watching the game.
I have pledged to myself that I won't be watching another down of Michigan football.
Why?
Because I refuse to accept that we hired a coach that I knew would be mediocre.
Okay.
We now suck because we made a dumb choice.
But you think Michigan's going to win?
Oh, heck no.
Oh,
heck no.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to
listen to this.
You're telling me Purdue can put up 49 points on Illinois, but we can only muster 7? No, we're not winning.
Okay, because this is a big change from beginning of the year.
We are garbage. I fully admit that.
But you thought you guys were going to win beginning of the year.
Well, beginning of the year, we're garbage.
Try not to gaslight me. I remember this.
No, I said that. I'm agreeing. But at the beginning of the year, I didn't think we'd be garbage.
Okay.
I thought, we're not getting a quarterback in the portal, so one of these 16,000 guys behind center have to be good.
Yeah.
At this point, have open tryouts, because whatever it is we're doing, it's not working. But, no, I think we're going to lose.
Okay. What do you think the score is going to be? Like 24-21?
It's going to be ridiculously low. It's going to be like 17-10.
Okay.
Or like 17-7.
Okay.
The only way we win this football game is if Khalil Mullings goes ham like he did against USC. Okay. Which, for whatever reason, we've decided to play Donovan Edwards on almost every down, so I guess we've just decided
I mean, he's on the NCAA football cover.
Apparently, we only play NCAA football, because in reality, we just... I can't with this team. I knew it was going to be a bad hire.
But you didn't think it was going to be this bad.
No, but hiring internally for someone that doesn't have experience is a really risky bet.
Yeah.
Not hitting the transfer portal was just stupidity.
Yep.
And then you're telling me off a bye week you can only score 7? Like, if we really can't throw the ball, run a triple option. Because unlike NMU, we can actually run a triple option.
Yes. Yeah.
We've done it. We have a fast running back, a big running back, and a big running quarterback.
And a good O-line.
And a really good O-line.
Pretty decent O-line.
With 2 good tight ends.
Yeah, that can...
So literally just hand the ball to a receiver. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Throw the ball 0 times a game. It doesn't matter.
Kind of like Georgia Tech against Cumberland.
Exactly.
They didn't throw the ball a single time.
Right. Or like the way Army and Navy play, which somehow they have more passing touchdowns than we do.
And are really good this year.
Which is insane to me, by the way.
23 and 24, respectively.
But it's insane to me, though, that they don't throw the ball. They still have more passing touchdowns than us. But besides the point, if you know you can't throw the football, I don't understand with the offensive line we have, the running backs we have with Orgy, why you can't run a triple option, double options, screens, like end arounds. Like, where is that offensive creativity?
Yeah.
I asked the same question of a team like MSU, where you have an ultra-talented quarterback. In my opinion, will soon be top 5, if not top 3 quarterback in the Big Ten. And I say this as a Michigan fan. Why do they keep... This is about Michigan State. Why do they keep turning over the ball? Why does the defense have to win them games? Right?
Yeah.
Where is the offensive creativity for both these teams? Because they are, in my opinion, they should be better than the record that they are.
Yeah.
State had no excuse to lose to a mid-Boston College team, and we had no excuse to lose to Iowa, Washington, and Illinois.
Oh, the Boston College game, that was really close, and they were
we
ranked.
Haven't even played Iowa yet. I'm jumping the gun.
They were ranked as well.
Yeah, my point is they're now like
close.
3-3, so they're not.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not what they were cut out to be. We should not have lost to Illinois and Washington, and I don't even remember the third loss. It's been erased from my brain.
And I think this will be the first time in a very long time. I can't seem to find a good chart that shows the rankings of both teams for the rivalry. I looked on the Wikipedia page. It just shows the winners and their rank for the game results. But when was the last time both Michigan and Michigan State, when they faced each other, they were both unranked?
Which is?
I don't know. I think this. I know Michigan's unranked. Michigan State's unranked. So it's
been a long.
It's probably been a very long time. At least a team. Maybe it was 2017. I don't know. Because Michigan State won and they were unranked. Maybe it was. No, it wasn't 2020 because Michigan was ranked.
Michigan was not ranked in 2020.
And on October 31st, when that game started, it was the second game of the year because it was the COVID year. Michigan was ranked at the time, and then they only won one game, but that was later in the season. And they were too scared to play Ohio State, so they just didn't play Ohio State that year. No comeback on that one. All right, maybe 2005.
Point is, it's been an eternity, and I'll let you keep looking at that if you want to pique your curiosity. But I think if you're a State fan, you are trending in the right direction, but it's cautious optimism because Mel Tucker had you trending in the right direction, and then it crashed
for a year, yeah.
So it's like you've got Aiden Childs realistically for his junior year. If he plays like I think he will, he's going to leave for the draft. So you've got one more year of a good quarterback, but then it's going to come down to how do you play without your star quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Which, I know he's played mid this year. But
there's going to be another guy coming up.
He's either a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore. But you don't have another guy in the pipelines. And no offense to Michigan State, but the recruiting just isn't there because they just don't have the resources, especially with NIL, to go out there and get the guys that they want. Michigan has the exact opposite problem, I think, where the resources are there, but they're not being utilized.
Mm-hmm.
The head coach is poor. I think Michigan State's is good. And there's a quarterback in the wings, but why do we care if the rest of the roster is poor? So it's kind of interesting, the state of both programs. I think no matter who wins, even if we win, of course I'm going to be happy if we win. But, I want to win rivalry week. But I don't think, I'm going to be that excited because maybe it's different from a State fan's point of view, but, we are beating a bad State team. State is going to be beating the worst Michigan team in over a decade. So it's congrats, you got a rivalry win, but okay. You beat an awful team. I mean, Michigan State I wouldn't say is awful, and neither is Michigan, but they're bad. It's different than when it's Michigan or Michigan State is ranked really highly, and either you pummel the opponent that you were supposed to pummel, or you pull an upset and it's exciting. Or in the rare occasion where they're both ranked, it's even better. But when you're both bad, it's practically it's not a toilet bowl. We're not the bottom of the Big Ten. We're close.
We were for that COVID year. We were sharing the bottom of the Big Ten, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was
you're not used to seeing both Michigan teams in the bottom.
Well, we're both near the bottom now.
Yeah,
and so I think no matter who wins,
we're in the middle.
Well, we're not at the bottom, literally in the standings, but with the way we're playing.
Yeah.
Michigan State has beat up on some bad teams. We beat up on some bad teams. When we played real competition, we've gotten demolished. Both of us.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's sort of a hollow win, I think, either way.
Okay.
In my opinion. I'm sure you'll disagree, but
I don't know.
I don't think the win means as much when both teams are not playing.
Michigan State wins next week. I'm gonna be very happy coming into the show.
I'm gonna be happy too, and we're gonna talk about it either way.
Yeah, we are.
But I think it's different than when
again.
we're going on a national championship season and we blow you out. Or you're going to the Rose Bowl.
49-0, I remember.
Or the Rose Bowl where you beat, I don't know what you beat us by, but you definitely beat us that year. Your Rose
Stanford,
Bowl,
we went to Stanford.
You beat us, though.
That was not the trouble in the snap. That was the year after.
That was the next year. No, it was not.
That was so good.
That actually, I think, was that year.
No, that was the next year.
Either way, it was
because
the year before.
we went to the Cotton Bowl and beat Baylor.
That's true. It was the year before Iowa.
No, it was.
That was 2015.
It was when we went to 2015. It was the first year of the college football playoff.
Trouble of the Snap was 2015.
Yeah, and
second year of the college football playoff.
That the trouble in the snap was the same year because that was when we faced Alabama and we lost.
No, that was the year after, I think.
I don't think so.
You weren't in the debut college football playoff. You're right. You faced Bama, but that was number 2. Number 1 was Oregon, Ohio State.
Was that Florida State?
Yes.
Okay.
So you were in the second one.
Second one. Okay.
But either way, regardless.
We faced Baylor.
The point is, it means a lot when your team is on top and you go and pummel your rival.
Yeah.
It means a lot when your team is not doing well and you go out and upset them. And it means the most when both of you are good and one team wins. In my opinion, when you're both terrible, like for years when Indiana and Purdue played each other, Indiana's now, in my opinion, the second or third best team in the Big Ten, which is shocking. We should hire that guy. We should hire Curt Cignetti. He turned this program around to heartbeat. But anyway, when they played each other every year, and they were 1-6 each in the Big Ten, It's like, congratulations, Indiana or Purdue. Like, you won the game. But, like, does it really matter when your rival is this bad?
Yeah.
Right?
Oregon
and I get it.
Number
We're
one
not
team in
as
the country
bad.
right now.
We're not as bad as those teams. I get it. But I think the win means less when these programs are at the point they're at. State is rebuilding. Michigan is, in my opinion, already rebuilding. So it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think even other than the 5-6 year period of Rich Rod and Brady Hoke, other than that, even
Brady Choke.
Okay. Which, by the way, I'd rather have him back.
Where is he? Is he like UNLV?
He was at San Diego State retired, I believe. But
okay.
My point, okay. Another side note.
Where did he come?
I'd rather have him back than
I'm sorry.
I'd rather have either of those guys than Sharon Moore.
Okay.
Because Rich Rod had the most electric offense in the CFB with Denard Robinson, and Brady Hoke, I think, just had a very unfortunate set of circumstances because he got handed the awful embarrassment that Michigan football was under. I think he was after Rich Rod, right?
Yes.
He got handed that awful embarrassment of a team, and I don't think they gave him the time that he should have had. Now, I'm thrilled we got Harbaugh and all that. It worked out.
For the second half of his
point is,
tenure there. Yeah.
He is trending, Sharon Moore is, in that direction, as is our program. And it's like, when you beat us in those years, great. Again, you got the rival win, congratulations. When we beat you, I don't remember when you were at your worst, because you had some really good runs under D'Antonio, and even under Mel Tucker, you were pretty good. When we beat you last year, it was
until Mark D'Antonio turned his coaching staff into his own personal country club.
But either way, point is, we'd have to go back to before Mel Tucker, before D'Antonio, when we were bad.
Yeah.
Right? What was that? The 90s? I don't even know. He was there so long.
Oh, for Michigan State being bad? I mean, Nick Saban was coaching Michigan State at the time.
Well, before him. And you were okay under Saban.
Yeah, it was like on the up and up, and then he left for LSU.
But either way,
LSU had more
we'll just say before Saban in the early 90s. Right? Okay. We beat your terrible team, and it'd be like, okay,
there was one year in the 80s where we won the Big Ten because we had a special team.
But there were a few times where you were good. The point is, when you beat a team when they're at their worst, it doesn't mean the same.
It wasn't consistent.
It's different if your team is about to win a Natty or a Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because you are the best. But when you're both it doesn't mean the same.
True, but I'm still going to watch the football game.
Are you still going to be excited if they win?
I will.
Am I still going to be excited if they win? Of course. I'm not saying the rivalry doesn't matter, but I don't have the same energy for the rivalry when both teams are bad.
Well.
Nor do I have the same energy if Michigan was 5-2 and the number 24 team and floundering and meh.
Yeah.
And State was where it is right now. I'd still be eh.
Okay.
It's really only interesting to me when one team is really, really good, they're both really, really good, or, somewhere in there. It's not fun when they're both bad. But real quick, I do want to talk about two things. Topic.
One, let's move on to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, what a game, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Yes, that was super enjoyable to watch. Goff almost perfect for 22 catches of 25 attempts for 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, beating a very, very good Vikings team in Minnesota.
That was an impressive game. And
an impressive game.
We tried to sell the game. We really did.
Yeah.
And we still won.
Obviously, the pass rush was lacking, but that's because we are missing
They did get 4 sacks.
Yeah, one of them. I think one of them was off of the Hail Mary that we tried to do.
I think. I see where you're coming from. But Goff has been dominant. I would argue he should be an MVP frontrunner.
Yep.
And he's not for some crazy reason. But
give it time. If he keeps playing, if the offense keeps playing their A game, and the defense also they're doing their best. They had some interceptions, and things like that.
Absolutely, but.
We might do pretty good. I think we're going to do pretty good. We'll have to see how the trading situation happens.
We got a trap game against the Titans this week.
I know.
But okay, here's what I want to know. Given the current state of the roster, do you think this is the year where we finally do it?
Well, now that Aiden Hutchinson has been injured, I'm going to say no. But I'm not going to say it won't happen. But I'm gonna say that we're no longer like an automatic Super Bowl contender. Well, hold on. There's the Super Bowl contender, and then there's like Super Bowl winning team. Like,
yeah, but let's.
I think we could still beat Kansas State if we play. Oh my goodness!
Here's the thing.
If we play our A game, we can win the Super Bowl. But that's going to be a lot harder to do, a lot harder to achieve that A game without Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay, here's the thing. If they don't pick up somebody, I want to make this our closing point, so we'll make it quick. If they pick up nobody, no other pass rusher, do you trust Brad Holmes, or do you think it's the mistake that keeps us out of the Super Bowl? My opinion is, no matter what we do from here, I think there's zero excuse not to get to the Super Bowl. And given the way our NFC rivals are playing right now, if we win the division, that will mean we are better than the Vikings, Bears, and Green Bay. We'll have had to win the head-to-head.
Yes.
Right? But the Bucs beat us. Okay, so the Bucs might be better than us, but I think on our A game, we beat them.
Yes. We're favored to win every game.
The Commanders are not legitimate. The Eagles have obvious glaring holes. Dallas is out of the playoff picture. San Francisco is not at their best.
Nope.
And with Ayuk out, they've lost their biggest weapon. And CMC's out. They're injured as heck. And Seattle, not great either. So is there really any excuse not to win the NFC? I don't think there is.
No, we're in the top of the NFC, and I think we're going to stick to it.
But here's the question.
For the regular season.
Will we do it in the playoffs? Will it happen? It's long overdue.
I still think yes, but I'm not as confident.
I'm not super confident either, but I think it will happen. Before. So, I say we end it there.
Yes.
It's a great, positive, optimistic way to end what's been a very depressing show.
I mean, I don't know. We had, there was obviously a lot of weird things to talk about, but this is WPX 91.5 FM H21 Marquette. This was the Jack and Dom radio show, and we will see you guys next week. See ya.